What's happening, troops? Welcome back to another episode of the No First Touch podcast. Delighted to say that today we are joined by Mr. Posh himself. Jack, he's back. What's happening, mate?
What's happening, bro? Not too much yourself.
Not too much. It doesn't sound like that, does it, Kirsten, our camera?
No, doesn't.
Shattered,
Some mental nights.
Shattered.
Do you know what he's just told us off camera there? He says he ordered a Burger King, right? And the guy says, because it's right across the road from him, the guy said, would you be able to come get it? He says, no. Does it say that on the website? And he made the guy, travel 200 yards to his new big swanky flat and all that sort of stuff, man. It's just...
I think he was just trying to show off his new flat, to be honest. That's the only excuse, isn't it?
That's what he says, but Kirsten,
do I know the sad thing? See the building I'm in, it's so hard to navigate. The building's pretty complicated, so I whenever I order food, I need to go down and meet him at the front door. So technically,
it's one of those ones.
I probably walked further than him.
Kirsten, what's been happening with you?
Nothing much. Not got a penthouse yet, but we'll see. We'll make a few podcasts and we'll see what we can get. Just happy that my team won at the weekend. But other than that, nothing really. Working away.
I think another 10 podcasts will be able to get you a mixture or something like that out the van.
There we go then.
Much of your 10p, Chris.
Oh, he might not be able to get them. I was thinking more of a 5p mixture.
Oh, couldn't have gone, mate. That's probably about 2p a gum these days, man.
The wee 2p smiley faces.
Or it could get, do you know what it could get? Get you a wee pair of Slazenger socks or something like them, don't you? You want?
Quite cosy for the winter. Quite cosy. I'll take a pair. Oh, no.
I remember I was watching Tyson Fury on Behind the Gloves or whatever it was, and he was wearing a big pair of Slazengers, so the next day I went out and got myself a pair. Because I want to be him.
That's marketing for you.
Definitely.
It is. Right, troops, we've got a lot to get through tonight. We'll start off with the Friday night games. Of course, they happened because Steve Clarke petitioned for the SPFL games to happen on the Friday. Then Rangers and Celtic get through to the Europa League group stages and fucked absolutely everything up. So most of the key players actually played at the weekend on Sunday there and won't be that fresh going into the games on Thursday. However, there was a few nice wee games. Aberdeen versus Hibs. Aberdeen picked up the victory 2-0. That's now the second time that they've beat Hibs this season. Is that them secured third, Jack, or do you think that Hibs have still got a chance?
I think the Hibs Aberdeen battle is going to be a wee bit similar to the Old Firm battle, where the games are going to be massive against each other because they seem to be picking up points everywhere else. Obviously, Aberdeen and Hibs are probably going to slip up a bit more than Old Firm, but the games are massive this season to secure that third place. I obviously said at the start of the season, Hibs were probably going to be my favourites for third. It is swaying towards Aberdeen. I think I was like sitting in the house when that game was getting played, and I checked the score because I'm pretty sure if Hibs won, they would have went above Celtic in the league just for a wee poke fun thing at my Celtic fan pals, and then I seen it was 2-0 after how long, and I was like, all right, okay, fair enough.
It just goes to show you how good Aberdeen have actually started. They started slow, of course, when Rangers beat them 1-0 up there in Pittodrie, but since then, and obviously everything that happened with our players breaking the rules, since then, they've just been on an absolute great run. And that's a sign of a good team. When they go and they get beat, obviously, off Celtic, very disappointed. And they come and they beat the closest rivals, you would say. And they beat them quite comfortably, 2-0 in the first 15 minutes. Cosgrove gets back in the score sheet. And they look brilliant at the moment, don't they, Kirsten?
Yeah, no, definitely agree. I think what happened at the start of the season when, they broke the COVID rules, I think that was maybe a kick up the bum for them. They've came out...
Kick up the bum?
Sometimes you need that in football. Sometimes you need that. I think that Hedges has been really good. The last couple of games he's played against Celtic, and especially that game there, he's on the ball so far. And to be honest with you, to go 2-0 up and, the first 20 minutes is quite good, especially against a team like Hibs at the moment who have been really strong. Especially at home, it's the best way to go. I think, after those 20 minutes, that was kind of it for the rest of the game, though. I would have liked to seen a bit more, maybe a few more goals, but other than that, 2-0, boom, Sam Cosgrove to get in the score sheet again. So I think they were just happy, to be honest, with that, with the win.
we know fine well, Jack, don't we, how good Hibs can be on their day.
Aye.
Obviously, they've probably gave Rangers the best game so far this season. They matched us, they scored 2 goals, they were good against us in a lot of the game. And it just goes to show, as I said, how good Aberdeen are doing at the moment. And for me, they've just took a big step in front of Hibs there, because that's now home and away, no conceded a goal. And it's all looking great up there at Aberdeen. It's probably the only thing that's looking great up there, though, eh? Because Johnny Hayes ain't looking pretty, is he? Come on.
Nah, man, he's had a bad paper round, isn't he, man?
Very rough paper round. Very rough. The other one was Ross County 1, Livingston 1, and Jack, me and you actually called this, mate. 1-0.
Not bad. I feel like both teams would be happy with that. I think that's a game where you could have won or lost it, so the fact that they've managed to both come away with a point, they probably won't be too raging with that. I think that's a kind of game where both teams would have been looking to win it, so they'll be going away for that, not too angry, but obviously in the future, like at home, you'd like to be winning that, but team going away there, they'll be happy with a point, definitely.
Listen, there'll be some people that are watching actually going, no, Jack didn't say 2-1 each, because you weren't on the show last week. Obviously, you were living it up in that. But if you want to check in with all that sort of stuff, if you've not quite caught, you can go and check it up on our Instagram, No First Touch, can't they?
I'm pretty sure that I wrote it, because obviously I was asked for my predictions in the wee group chat.
Embarrassing. Embarrassing.
I said 2-1 to Celtic, and then you put on Instagram that I said 1 each. What's that all about?
Listen, mate.
Haven't heard from Jack in ages. Hasn't spoke to us in ages, and then the only reply we get is, "I never said that on the picture."
No, I'm kidding on, Jack. We love you, mate. We love you.
Aye, sounds it.
Nah, we don't. We don't. How is the flat anyway? How is it going? Is it all right?
Aye, mate. It's stressful, mate.
Have you got a throne yet?
We've got 2 thrones, one in the ensuite and one in the main bathroom.
Who's that? Rory Delap?
There you go then.
Right, well, we got it unfurnished, so we've been building everything. So I've been a bit stressful, and I'm obviously working full time in the meantime. So been great for the old sleep pattern.
How
many IKEA trips have you went?
Well, we got everything we needed in one IKEA trip, and the rest that got delivered. So we've done actually alright in terms of efficiency, but building stuff isn't my forte.
Yes, right. Let's move on to the next game, because Ross County Livingston. I mean, come on. The next one that we're moving on to probably isn't much better, and I've got a bone to pick with these lads. St Mirren 0, Dundee United 0. Fucked my cootum for 230 quid. 230 buckaroos, man.
Oh no.
That could have been nice. That could have been Dundee United.
I'm not expecting them to win that game.
I mean, can you elaborate? Can you elaborate as to why? Because I thought it was pretty fucking obvious.
It's just fun. See when I think of my predictions for this, that's a wee behind the scenes. Obviously, when I'm writing my predictions down, I just get an instinct feeling usually, and that's what I go with. And to be fair, I think if you look back at all these predictions, I've kind of predicted United winning a lot of these games every week, and that was another one. I just thought, they're going to win that, but no, pretty. Isn't one for the viewers to watch? Was it?
It was not. What did you think of it, Kirsten?
Well, St Mirren haven't kicked a ball in how long? I can't even remember.
It's about 3 years or something they've not kicked a ball for.
Something like that. And Dundee desperately needed points. So to be honest with you, I was hoping there would be a bit more fight. I was hoping there would at least be goals. But yeah, it was just a bit one of those games you just like to kind of forget. It's just nothing really happened. I think it was kind of maybe just a lack of not playing for St Mirren, but I think with the chances they had, they should have bagged it, at least a few goals on each side, but didn't really do anything if it's not in the back of the net.
That's it. And then finally, it was St Johnstone 1, Kilmarnock 0. I called this one as well. I was on fire. You did? I think you said 3-1. I've managed to claw 4 points back onto you, Jack. So at the end of all of that last week, obviously we'll go on to the old firm games. You finished on 16 points. I get 20. Kirsten, you get 9. But because you were still pitying you and stuff, we gave you double up to 18. So Next week, Jack will have the calculator out for sure, and he'll have the up to date scores. But Jack, you're still winning, mate. So where does that rank in your lifetime achievements?
Under the flat.
Oh, I 100%. Flat's a shiter. It's up there, mate. It's up there. I'll be hoping you print me up a wee certificate or something I can put on the wall.
We'll get you a mixture as well anyway, mate. Moving on.
Oh,
The Old Firm games. Wow. Celtic needed to bounce back, and they did, Kirsten, didn't they? 4-1.
Yeah, no, definitely. They did. And I've seen a lot of things saying that the scoreline was flattering. To be honest, Celtic played well. I don't see how Motherwell could have really won that. They took a chance with the header, and to be fair for Gallagher, it was a great header. Set pieces are not something that we can kind of defend against, and I think that's something we need to quickly change. But Elyounoussi, hat-trick, and then Champ to get a goal as well. I've been his biggest critic this season, I think, so for him to get a nice wee easy tap in, that was good. And see, to be honest, from start to finish, we just looked hungry, we looked like we wanted goals, and as soon as it went 2-1, I was like, oh no, we're going to go downhill like we have been doing, and boom, right after it, Elyounoussi pops up with some leap, by the way. That header, I wasn't expecting him to get a header in the game, but it was some goal from him. So yeah, I'm just happy that once we did concede, we just kept going and going, nah, we're winning this game, and they showed it, and I can't be happier. Maybe would have been happier actually if we kept a clean sheet, but we'll work on that for, after a national break, but we'll see.
I know. Maybe you'll get one of them in the next few months or something. I don't know.
We'll see.
So it was the Motherwell manager, wasn't it, that came out and says that the scoreline was flattering. I tuned into the game, and to be honest, I thought Motherwell done well in large spells, especially second half. I thought they were the better team up until obviously Celtic get the third goal, and then it was comfortable. In the first half, the reason he's probably saying it is because how many games have you seen Celtic play against Motherwell where they've got numerous free kicks, they've got numerous corners and all that? But at the end of the day, Polesworth's deliveries were absolutely stinking. I mean, I'm going to start calling him Big Floater because, Jesus, Celtic have struggled with whip balls into the box. He does it once in the first half and Bain starts flapping at it. And then for the rest of the game, although he gets the assist in the second half, should never be conceding a goal like that, should you, Kirsten? Just a big floater into the back.
See, as soon as he kicked it, and I turned round, I was like, right, okay, we won't concede, it's fine. But as soon as it was in the air, I was like, nah. I felt everybody's position was a bit wrong in the Celtics' point of view. Everyone was kind of just left their man as soon as the ball was kicked, and I think that's something that we definitely do need to improve on. Like I said, when it comes to set pieces, we're absolutely diabolical. I can't even tell you how many goals we've actually conceded from set pieces, but compared to last season, it's a lot more, and it's something that definitely needs to be fixed soon, especially if we want to win these games, especially if we want to close that gap behind Rangers. That's something that we definitely need to sort out.
For me, a massive factor into you guys winning at the weekend, obviously Elyounoussi scores a hat-trick, deserves a lot of credit for that because he's had a lot of criticism, but I think that Rogic is the difference, and I was just interested to see your point of view on that, Jack. Obviously from a Rangers fan's point of view, he's a player that's put in big performances against us. We've seen firsthand how good a player he is, and in big moments as well in games. But do you think that he is one of the reasons as to why they done so well at the weekend there?
100%. Aye. So I watched the game, and there was wee moments in there where he had a wee moment of magic, and that wee moment of magic created a chance, or it put somebody through, and that's the wee thing that Celtic seem to be missing a wee bit. That creativeness, that energy. And it's surprising to me to think that Rogic was nearly on his way out, which is at the start of this season, which is mind-boggling. Obviously, he has his issues. He can't run the Olympic style, but his technical ability is second to none. I think he's very 80
similar. Minutes. He survived 80 minutes at the weekend. That's an achievement.
Did you see him by then yet?
Aye, but still, it's an upgrade.
Nearly got a tax up against me on Halo. I think the similarities with him, for a Rangers fan point of view, to a Rebo. He's got that wee pass, or that wee spark in him, and my roommate Lewis, who's a Celtic fan, every time Rogic made a pass, you could hear him for living him going, oh, every time he'd done something. So I think it's obvious that he's got a wee spark in there, and he is a big difference in that midfield.
For sure.
He just creates something out of nothing. That's just something that we need. I think every team needs it. You know, when things aren't going your way, when things aren't really working out, when you that one pass, that killer ball, boom, and then back of the net. So he's really creative, and I'm just glad that we've still kept hold of him. As Jack said, 4 million we nearly sold him for. Do you know what I mean? Like, and look at the difference he's made in the last couple of games for us. He's been absolutely outstanding.
I think from Motherwell's point of view, where they're saying that they feel like the scoreline flat or Celtic a wee bit. I think the only reason they can kind of come out and say that is because the goals seem to be quite avoidable at times. Even though that Elyounoussi gets a good jump on that header, the defender literally plants his feet and doesn't move. So that's the only way I can see them hinting that. But Celtic are the ones that jumped, Celtic are the ones that headed it, and Celtic are the ones that got the goal. So you can't really moan.
I was having a wee moment last night, or was it the other night? I don't know. I've lost track. Don't know Mars from my elbow. But do you remember a couple of weeks ago when I said, is Shane Duffy a Brighton player or is he a Celtic player? And we all found out that he's a fucking Brighton player up until this point. Up until this point, he's a Brighton player. The other night, I'm sitting there and I'm going, do you know who Elyounoussi is? There's been a lot of conversation.
You said this.
There's been a lot of conversation about, is he a runner? Is he a dribbler? What is he? He's fucking Dele Alli. That's what he is. He's the Dele Alli of Scottish football. In that
see if he scores goals, I'm happy.
That's all Dele Alli does. That's all he does. He'll not do anything else for you but score goals. And listen, if it's scoring goals, that's one of the best things. Is he making TikToks, aye?
Yeah, I can pure see that in him. I don't know.
I like him. I like him for that, man.
I don't
know. No Elyounoussi, Dele Alli. What you know on TikTok?
Nah, mate.
Pathetic.
Do you love it now? It's a diet vine, mate.
He's too good for it. A
diet vine. No, it's a roofless vine, uncensored vine, mate. You've took us away from my point. Elyounoussi is Dele Alli. And listen, if he scores goals, there won't be any complaining whatsoever. This leads us into our next topic, though. There's still a lot of Celtic fans that are not happy. Neil Lennon out or Neil Lennon in? I'm fascinated to know. What are you saying?
Out.
Still out?
Still out.
Why?
I just see when he got appointed it, right? When we won the treble, I remember it. I was sitting celebrating with my pals and it just popped up my phone literally like 2 minutes later, like, oh, he's been appointed. And I wasn't happy. Like, I was like, nah, I just don't think he's the right person to do it. To fill in whilst you're looking for one, yeah, great. But he's not. See, when things go wrong, he'll either go 4-2-3-1. Right, that's maybe not working. Go to 3-5-2. Right, that's not working. Go to 4-2-3-1. He's not really actually got a game plan. Look at Derek McInnes. See when that stuff happened with lockdown with Aberdeen. He then switched up the team. He got a game plan, and look how well they've been performing. Look at Rangers this season with your game plan. Look how well yous have been doing. Like, there's just seems to be no game plan there. Like, even sitting watching him on the bench, see when we're winning, we're losing, he's just sitting there, like, face like thunder, like he's just being given in trouble. It's like, show a wee bit of enthusiasm at least. Like last season he was on the touchline shouting whether we were winning or losing. This season he just does not seem interested, and I do genuinely think that does reflect back on the players as well. So I definitely think it's time for him to go and someone else come in.
Do you have any idea who? And you can't say Pochettino.
I wouldn't say Pochettino. I've heard a lot of things about Eddie Howe coming in. Obviously, I'd like Pochettino. Obviously, right. I'm not saying I would if he turned around and was like, yeah, I'd be like, up the road, let's go. But like, if he was like, nah, sorry, can't, I'm busy, I'd be a wee bit upset. But I think Eddie Howe would be quite good. Look at what he done with Bournemouth. Do you know what I mean? They went leaps and bounds with them. I think he'd be quite interesting as well. But yeah, I would definitely take Pochettino, but we just need to wait and see what happens, if it does ever happen, because I don't think, you know, like, put it this way, see if it was like Ronnie Dyler or anybody else, I think they would have been sacked already, personally. But for some odd reason, Neil Lennon's still there.
Right, moving on from the football to the cricket. Rangers 8, Hamilton 0. Oh my God. We all thought there was going to be goals in this game, but 8-0. That is a cricket score, isn't it? Oh my God.
Isn't
I would hate to be Brian Rice anyway at this moment in time, because 8 goals. I know it's Rangers and we're doing well, and there was a...
Still embarrassing, but innit? Like, really, like 8 goals past you, no matter who you are, you're a bit like, come on. Like, it's a bit much, isn't it?
Aye.
Good for you, but like...
Is it just me, or did Jack just like do the pause challenge there or something?
Yeah, I don't know. It's malfunctioning in the back.
My thing keeps like pausing and starting again. So I think it's this Wi-Fi in here. I didn't sort it, so don't blame me, right? So.
Oh, he's too high. He's too high. Penthouse is too high. His Wi-Fi's a wee bit.
I'm only 3 up, Camden.
Oh, that's not bad.
What kind of penthouse is that, bro?
Isn't it? If you could show me where I said I have in a penthouse, I'll give you a tenner.
Right, get the Photoshop out. Oh, I forgot. That's Jack that does all that. I'm absolutely useless at that. But 8-0 in the game, Jack. What was your thoughts on it, mate?
To be honest, I was when the game kicked off. I was expecting a win. I was expecting nothing less. First goal goes in. I'm like, it's one of the ones. As soon as that first goal went in, I could have turned it off, knowing I could bet my whole life when I was winning that game. But with the margin that we won it by, it would have been another story. I mean, it was one of the ones where you looked away, you went to the toilet and came back and 2 had went in. So it was one of the. it was quite a strange game to watch. I think by the end of it, I was like on my phone, like, oh, 8, right, okay.
See, when we got the penalty, I thought that Jermaine Defoe might hit it, and see for Tav to step up and hit that, I was like, oh, the shithousery is 6-0. Do you know what I mean? It's 6-0, and then he steps up, puts it in the back of the net, and then he has the audacity to score the 8th. And I remember I said when I was watching the game, I don't know if this happened with you, when you played football at boys club level, see if it went 9-0, the game would stop.
Aye, game's a bogey.
Aye, like it'd be 9-0, right? But see if you scored a 10 for 11th, they wouldn't count. It'd just be 9-0, and that'd be it. I thought it could have been.
See when I play FIFA with my pals, see if it's 3-0 before half time, you just quit the game and you won.
Just quit.
So we have 4
oh my
at
God.
half time, can't complain.
Hamilton looked like they were just there for a day out. Honestly, by the end of it, Big Chipper was just throwing on young boys, go and enjoy yourself, go and express yourself, because this game is dead and buried, man. And it wasn't.
There was a doing coming somewhere, and to be fair, it's no surprise that it was Hamilton that got it.
Aye, we all thought there was going to be goals, but just the way that Rangers done it, the levels was what I was really impressed with, and the manager said that after the game. That's what he's wanted. He said to them, be ruthless. Maybe no 8-0, that's embarrassing, but try and keep the levels at 100% for the full game, and that's what Rangers done. And to win 8-0, I think it's our biggest victory in decades.
So, a while. You see, I don't know if it was a parody, but I seen a Hamilton thing, a Hamilton Twitter account saying stop the count.
Oh, that was brilliant. I think Hamilton done something earlier on in the week as well, saying something about stop the count, and then 8-0. Oh my God.
Images that precede unfortunate events, innit?
Aye.
Just that.
What's he doing anyway, Big Trump? He needs to just hand there the keys, doesn't he? It's a classic case of, right, that's it, I've got my ball, I'm going home.
I think he's just there for a laugh, to be honest. I think he's just like, I'll just stay a wee bit. No, it's never. I'll just stay here as long as I can, really, and see what happens.
He's got a bet in the group chat. How long do you think I can be the president for?
in the group chat with Vlad Putin and all that business.
Watch this one.
You know that he's just
day, boys.
You know that he's just going to like walk about and fart in every room, isn't he, before he leaves? Might even take a dump.
Aye.
He's just going to do that. He's going to like fart on the pillars and all that, and then when Joe Biden does his first talk, he'll have pink eye. It's written in the stars. That's what the world's came to, man. I want to see that in 2020, to be honest with you. Like, that would cheer up my 2020. That'd be funny.
Aye, that would end on a high.
Aye, literally. So, we spoke about James Tavernier there a wee bit. And the next thing I'm going to talk about is our players of the season so far. for me, it's James Tav, because Ryan Kent had a great start to the season, of course, but he's quieting down a wee bit now. Connor Goldson's obviously up there, Glenn Kamara's up there, and other guys like that. But this season, I think Tav's been on another level, Jack. He's my pick. It's 8 goals, 6 assists, leading by example in big games. What I love about him is now, when he gets the ball, if he puts in a poor cross, he's there to do it again. He's came under immense criticism for years over Rangers fans, and probably rightly deserved, because he's not been good enough in moments. But it looks like he's gone at his peak now. He's coming of age, and for me, he's my player of the season so far.
Yeah, 100% agree with you. I think one of the biggest things for me was Tav's ability going forward has never been doubted. We always knew he had a ball on him. We always knew that he could get a goal or two. His biggest thing that was always his defending, and you just need to look at the stats to prove how effective he's been this season. I think it's 3 goals all season we've conceded in the league, and he's one of the top scorers with the one of the top assists as well. And when you watch him play, man, there's never a doubt when I see him on the ball that he's going to deliver something. Obviously, out of the 25 crosses he puts into the box, 1 or 2 aren't going to be that great, but I don't see any other player in this league so far that's been as consistent as him.
Who's your pick, Kirsten?
Does it need to be my team or?
No, player of the season in the league. I mean, there's some other good shouts in there. You've got Nisbet, you've got Lewis Ferguson. There's other players out with Rangers that have obviously had a great season. I just can't overlook Tav at the moment.
Yeah, no, that's completely understandable. Tavernier's been, I've criticised him in the past, but I see that season for you, I can't really fault him. Do you know what I mean? He's been great for you. Because Celtic haven't been doing that well, been quite bad this season. If I had to pick somebody from our team, I'd maybe choose Laxalt, and that's purely just because since he came in,
right,
he's been quite good.
Bringing it back to the US presidential stuff, I'm vetoing that. Let's just go player of the season for the league. So no Celtic. So is it still Laxalt?
Nisbet, I'd go. I know he's been quite quiet in the last game or two, but we all kind of had our wee doubts, is he going to be good enough? Maybe Shanklin's going to be better, but he's absolutely blown us all out the water. I don't think anybody can say that he's not deserved to be where he is now. He's bossing it, and I will hold my hands up and go, yeah, I didn't think he would perform to the level he is, but he's been great so far.
Fair enough. Gave some good arguments here. He's definitely up there. He's been unbelievable. Proved everybody wrong that doubted all of them. I thought, will he be good enough, as you said? And he's scoring goals. I think he'll be a top goal scorer this season. If Morelos or whatever, or Edward doesn't pick up their game and start getting on the score sheet for sure. Anyway, let's transition now towards Scotland. Our place of birth, I think. Is that everybody's place of birth?
Yeah.
Aye.
There we go. There's a fact about
there
everybody. We're all born in Scotland, unfortunately. So the little teaser today, it's going to be 5 questions for the 2 years themed around our wee country of Scotland. Football. What about football, obviously. I'm not going to ask you where the A9 leads or anything like that. Okay. So we'll go to each year. You can give us your answers. And then I think further down in the show, we'll go back to it. We'll give people time to have a wee think about it. No Google. And then we'll reveal the answers. Right? He's ready?
Right.
We'll battle this out for the next 10 minutes or so. And then we'll reconvene. Okay. Question 1. We'll go to Kirsten first on this, and then you, Jack, and then we'll alternate. In what year did we last qualify for a major competition? You get 5 seconds.
5 seconds.
Yes.
1997.
Okay.
Mate,
Jack?
1998.
Right.
I knew it was
Question 2. You just gave your date of birth or something like that. Question 2. Which current squad member... I'll start again because that was fucking shite. Which current squad... No, I've done it again. Oh my God. Thank God I'm editing this today. There we go. Which current squad member has the most caps? Jack, you start. So in the most recent squad, who has got the most caps? Talk us through your thinking.
I'm not really sure, mate. As you'll know, if anybody watches the podcast, I don't really watch Scotland that much. I'm going to go with John McGinn.
John McGinn. Do you want to give a wee stab in the data how much he's got as well?
Like 29.
Right. Kirsten, you're up.
I'm going to go for... So I have no idea with this one. I'm just going to guess. So I'm going to go Callum McGregor. Just a guess with 30.
I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Of course, guys, get involved in the comment section below as well. Question 3. Who scored our last goal in a major competition? Going at the first 2 questions, I don't know if I've got much hope in you, to be honest.
Aye, no,
Right,
I
Kirsten,
don't have much hope. So who scored the last goal?
Yes.
Let's just go for a wee guess. Let's just go for Naismith. I don't know anybody, man. I'm actually thinking. I'm like, who even like?
So is that Stephen Naismith's? To lock that in?
Apparently, aye. We'll just lock it in. It's wrong, but we'll lock it in.
Is it Stephen Naismith Senior by chance, or is it Junior?
Senior.
Right, Jack.
I mean, I haven't any clue who was even playing for Scotland in that. I know Stephen
Neither
Naismith.
did I just guess. We're getting slagged right now in the comments, by the way. I'm just saying.
I'll go with Super Ali.
Super Ali. Good. Honest.
Better guess than mine.
It was, to be fair. And just to look at it as well, Jack, is that the Ali McCoist that played for Rangers, or is it another one? Junior or senior? The Ali McCoist. The Ali, okay.
At that time.
Okay, question 4. This time we'll go to Jack first. I want you to give me one player, then Kirsten. Back to you, Jack, because there's a couple you need to give me. Name 2 of the top 5 most capped Scotland players. And you can't say each other's answers after you say them. So we'll start with you, Jack.
Kenny Dalglish.
Okay, Kirsten. That noise. Oh my God, I love it.
Mate, I'm not sure. Ali McCoist.
Ali McCoist, back to you, Jack.
Scott Brown.
And back to you, Kirsten, for your final guess.
I'll go Darren Fletcher, actually.
Darren Fletcher. Locked
That's
in.
just
Okay. Light bulb moment, maybe. We'll see. Right, here's a wee number one for you again. Question 5, final question.
Right.
Before we move on. The current manager, Steve Clarke, was a defender in his playing career, racking up 200 appearances for St Mirren and 330 appearances for Chelsea, 6 appearances for Scotland. But how many goals did he score? And we'll start with you, Kirsten. Nearest to the answer will get the point on this.
How many goals did he score in his whole career?
Yes. So he played 200 times for St Mirren, 330 times for Chelsea, and 6 times for Scotland. But he was a defender.
I'm going to go for 32.
32. Right, Jack?
17.
17. Righty. What a shambolic performance for the 2 of you there.
Maybe to be fair,
he's actually probably done a wee bit better than you actually think. There's a couple of good shouts in there. That's all I'm saying. It will all be revealed. Okay. Let's move on. Serbia versus Scotland happening tomorrow when this video is uploaded. The biggest game since a year. I will not say the year because that will give away the answer to the question. But a long time. You know, Stephen Naismith was probably about 6. That's what I'm saying. Nah, he might be a bit. He's getting on a bit now, isn't he? He might be in about 8.
Aye.
So,
Oh, no.
let's move on to it, man. What is your thoughts going into it? Anybody?
I'm not going to lie. I'm not massively confident. I'm optimistic. As I said, I don't really watch Scotland. Obviously, I hope they win every time they play. It's just a bit of a shift to watch them sometimes, and you get so excited again every single time we go qualify for these tournaments, and we let ourselves down every time. So I will be watching. I'll be hopeful, but I'm no confident.
What about you, Kirsten?
Before the last couple games, I wasn't confident, to be honest with you. But how we have been performing, we can get results, and I think we've shown that. So obviously, I want us to win, but I'm kind of in the same boat. I would love for us to win, but just need to wait and see. I think we'll get a win, but it's not going to be by like a big margin. It will probably be like by 1 goal. So it's either going to go one or two ways. It's going to go like last minute winner, or there's going to be a goal at the start and then nothing else. That's what I think is going to happen.
Don't know. I've experienced too much heartache with Scotland in the last minute and all that business for it to happen then. If it happens in the last minute, I hope it's for us. Honestly. I will go off my nut. We need to win this. Serbia are a good team. Get some good players. Tadic, Milinkovic, Savic, just to name 2. In fact, did Tadic not pull out?
He's not in the squad. He's out.
Oh, Flair of Scotland. Get in there. Tadic is out.
Don't jinx it.
Fucking love that. Milinkovic Savic is good though, to be fair.
Yeah, he's good. He's alright, yeah.
He's not too bad. It's going to be a tough game. Very tough. I think they'll have a lot of the possession and we'll need to hit them on the counter. But listen, we've got good players as well, which we'll get into. We are starting 11s, who we want to play. And hopefully our good players can impose themselves on the game more than theirs. It'll be hard because they are at a good level. But at the end of the day, I would rather play Serbia than who Scotland have had to play in the last 10, 15 years to make major competitions. I go back to Italy when they scored in the first minute. Barry Ferguson equalised. We're looking for the second, and then they punished in the last minute. There was another one with the Netherlands, twice with the Netherlands actually. And those type of teams, I'd prefer Serbia every day of the week. That's
true, actually. Yeah, I'd prefer Serbia over them teams. But as I said, just need to wait and see. I'm hoping it's an exciting game. I don't want it to be one of those games where it's just like 1 goal and then that's it, and then it's dead. But like if it is a pure last minute winner, then I'm going to be like, for the next 90 minutes of that game, I'm just going to be sitting there like, oh God, man, what's going to happen? But either way, it should be good. But the boys all know it's at stake. Do you know what I mean? They all know that this is, a major tournament that we could go into after a good few years. Find out how many years in, a few minutes when we reveal the answer. But
that's if my maths is good, fucks it.
Well, mine's is awful, so don't ask me. So
how were you at maths in school? Jack, were you any good at maths?
I was heavy good at maths like when I was younger, and then as I got older, I seemed to be in the top classes, and I just slowly dropped down.
I feel you're either good at English or you're good at maths. I felt like that's how you were at school. You were either good at one or the other.
I was right at both in my point.
I was better at English because I just found like in maths you need a definitive answer. There's only kind of one way to get to the answer, whereas in English you can talk a power of shite, and I'm good at that, and you can get a mark. So what level did you get an A at?
Me?
Aye.
Higher.
Fuck me gently, man. That's incredible.
Funny story, actually. See, my teacher in 5th year, like, basically messed it up. Like they taught us everything that we didn't do in the exams. So like, oh, this will be an exam, this will be an exam. And you know how when you're like studying for your exams, it's like they give you mock tests, and it's like, oh, it could come up on the exam, blah blah blah. But it's just obviously different numbers and stuff. But he basically gave us this and was like, yeah, this is going to be an exam, this is going to be an exam. Swear to God, like 2 weeks later, everybody in my class opens this exam paper and they're like, what the hell is this? Everybody in the class failed, and then he ended up getting sacked because it's like, if the full class fails, it's like down to the teacher's fault, not your fault. and then so
Aye.
he ended up getting sacked, and then I failed that year and then passed the next year. So yeah.
Fair play, man. I was in the top class up until like 4th year. Too much carry on. Too much carry on. Get moved down a class, and they'd already done the level that I was at or something like that, right? So I ended up having to move back to the top class, but I wasn't in the top class. So I just sat there for like 3 months doing fuck all, right? And then the following year, go back into the lower class, and the what do you call it, teacher was god awful. She was getting bingoed with rubbers and everything, man. It was embarrassing. It wasn't me, obviously, because I would never do such a thing, but aye, that's my story.
No, you chucked a stapler.
No, it was a desk. And then I get the jail. But anyways, moving on. Well, we're talking about Scotland, weren't we? Or what were we talking about?
I don't even know.
Here, that's how entertaining this country is at football. We ended up talking about school.
Oh.
Listen, actually, Kirsten, you obviously get an A in higher maths. How many points are Rangers clear at the moment?
9 at the moment.
It
We
was,
have
it
2
was
games
the
in
same
hand.
age, it was the same age that Stephen Naismith was when Scotland last won
So
the
was.
major tournament.
Listen, I'm telling you, Stephen Naismith could have scored goals at like youth level, right? We don't know. Okay, we don't know.
No, we do.
Right. So,
Oh, aye. Moving on.
bloody Scotland. We've spoke about our heartache, and in the last one that we were talking about Scotland, none of us were optimistic. Like, we were talking them down. We thought that we would do poorly against Israel and Slovakia and Czech Republic. We end up getting 3 wins. So I think the confidence, I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine, honestly, but we got the 3 wins, and I think that the confidence has grew a wee bit for that. Listen, Serbia, for me, are a better team than every one of them. I think Czech Republic's the only one that comes close. It's going to be a very difficult game. But if you had to put your flat on it, Jack, what would be your prediction for this game?
Put me in the spot there, man. My roommate's in the next room, so if I get this wrong,
I'd be a bit worried if he was in your room.
No.
Because he's your roommate. What's he doing in your room?
I think my head is my heart's saying 2-1 Scotland, but if I was a betting man and I was putting my flat on it, I'm going to say 2-1 at Serbia.
Oh my God.
Flat's gone.
He's just turned heel live on this channel. Kirsten?
If we had not played these last couple of games and won, I'd have said Serbia would win, but because we have been relatively good and surprised me, I'm going to say 1-0 to Scotland. I'm going to go for a wee win.
I am going to say 1-0 also. I'm going to back you on that. I think Steve Clark is the master at anti-football.
I think it's Stephen Naismith.
No, not him. Not him.
Oh man.
Definitely not him.
No.
Sick of all the attention he's getting. I hate him.
That's him clicked off the video now. Well done.
That's him unsubscribed. Thanks very much, Jack. And I actually mean that. Thanks very much, Jack, because he's a dick. Oh, he's going to boot my boys if he ever sees me.
Oh my God.
Okay, so we've got that out of the way. Kirsten, I believe you're going to ask the next 2 games for our predictions.
Yep. So we've got the prediction there for Serbia game. With Slovakia, right? The next game that we're going to play. What do you think is going to happen in that game? Do you think if we do win against Serbia, do you think we're going to win again? Do you think we'll get even better? Or do you think maybe it will go the opposite way? What do you think?
Well, Northern Ireland are playing Slovakia in a playoff game as well, so they'll be playing and they'll be a wee bit leggy.
Stephen Davis is in the team, yeah.
Oh, absolutely,
Davis,
yes. Yeah. Most capped player in Northern Irish history. Yes, please. Thank you. Next. So, yeah, I think that we can defeat Slovakia, honestly, and I think there will be changes in the game though. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to say 2-1 to Scotland.
Do you think that game will be easier than Serbia one?
Absolutely, 1,000,000%. Yeah, absolutely.
What are you thinking, Jack?
I'm going to go the same kind of scoreline. Slovakia is one of the teams that people seem to underestimate them from time to time, but we play well. And the few times we played them, we look good. And I don't think this Serbia match is going to impact us too much in terms of that game. If we win, I'll be putting money on us to win the Slovakia game. If we lose, I wouldn't be surprised if we bounce back with a win against them. So, I'm going to go 2-1 as well.
Fair play. I'm going to go for a wee 2-0. I'm going to go for a clean sheet again. I would love that as well. Oh, Jesus. Listen, see if it's a win for Scotland, I'm happy, right? Win for Scotland, I'm happy. I just want us to keep a clean sheet. And I think if we win against Serbia, I think that will give them a lot more confidence as well. So here's hoping. But the last game that we've got is against Israel. Now, we've played Israel a good few times. We've played them recently. How do you think it's going to pan out this time? Do you think it's going to be the same sort of result as last time? Do you think we can push on further? What are you thinking, Jack?
I think Scotland are really good at taking their time to get a result up before. So the fact that we got beat and then we won, I think we know how to play against them now. I think we know how to use our strengths against them. So I'm going to go 2-0 Scotland.
Oh,
wow.
Clean sheet as well. Boom.
I think it's going to be 1-0. I think this is a game that will be a wee draw. And I'm sick to death of playing Israel. Honestly, can this just be the last time, please?
Yeah, I know. How many times has it been in the last
it's been, I think,
years?
5 or 6 times we've played them in the last couple of years. It feels like it's every weekend or every international break that we're playing them at the moment. If Scotland go and get 3 wins in a row, that would be absolutely class. But I'll take the draw in that one. Get some points on the board. I think it's a way for him as well, isn't it? So
yeah. I think I'll match in that. I think I'll go 1-1. I don't think we'll lose. I think because we have played them so many times, we kind of know what they're capable of. We know quite a lot of the players playing the Scottish League as well. We've got obviously Beaton, Elhamed, and the keeper as well. Marciano, aye. So I think we kind of do know how they play. But I don't see us losing against them. I want us to win, but I think it will kind of be at that point where we will make a few changes towards the end, and I think we'll just go, do you know what, just go out and try and get a result. And I think I'll be satisfied if we win against Serbia and we got a draw against Israel and then we win against Slovakia. So yeah, that's that.
Before we go on to the answers, let you guys know how he's done in the quiz. Hopefully he's done better than these two.
Oh, God.
We're going to give our starting 11 that we want. And I think we can all just kind of agree on the goalkeeper straight off the bat. It's going to be David Marshall. He's the number one at the moment. I know he's at Derby and they're both in the league. I don't think they've won a game in 11 games, which is pathetic, absolutely pathetic. But I think that's got more to do with Wayne Rooney. I mean, he's never been good at football, terrible at football. So, nah. But listen, he is at Derby and they're doing stinking, but at Scotland, he's definitely on number one, isn't he?
Yeah, definitely. I 100% agree with that. Yeah, I don't think you can argue. To be fair, he's pulled off, even though they've been quite bad, he has pulled off a good few saves. Like at the end of the day, it's not just him, it's the full team in front of him as well that's been at fault. So when he's played for us in the last couple of games as well, I think he's been pretty good. Can't really fault him, so I'm happy to have him in the next 3 games in between the sticks.
Another couple of stick-ons in the back 5 is certainly O'Donnell at right back and Andy Robertson at left back. I think we can all agree on that as well. Definitely. I think the last international break there, Andy Robertson showed that he's getting better in a Scotland jersey. Thought his deliveries were really good, and we need to try and play more through him and let him feel comfortable and just do what he's good at. O'Donnell on the other side, Jack, had a really impressive game in the last game there, obviously. But what is your thoughts on him? Do you think he's good enough to continue in that position, or is it one that we should maybe look to get somebody else in on?
I don't think he's shown, I don't think he's gave us massive reasons to doubt him. I don't think he's done anything particularly wrong. So I feel like when you look at what we've got in that selection, as you said, we can all agree that he's going to be in that team. Obviously, Andy Robertson, on the other hand, is like first in the team sheet, plays a Liverpool Champions League winner, blah blah blah. So it's hard to start picking players that can fit around him, because people start to get frustrated with Andy Robertson when he doesn't play well for Scotland. And I'm like, because the difference is he plays in the Premier League with Van Dijk to his right, and then he comes up to he's got, I think it's Considine he was playing with. So you can't really fault him with that. But in terms of right back, we could always improve for Scotland, for fuck's sake. So, but I think we can. I can't be too harsh. I can't be too harsh on him. So I think he's playing all right.
Aye. I think the centre-half positions is where there might be a difference of opinion on this, because we've got a lot of options there. Let's be honest, not a lot of them are brilliant football players, and I think that's why there is a reason as to why there might be some debate on this. But for me, my three that I would like to see is Tierney come back in at the left-hand side. I'd like to see McKenna through the middle and Gallagher on the right. Now, I do have some hesitation in putting Gallagher out on the right because I don't know if he'll have the pace. But in the last games when he was through the middle, though, I thought he was superb. Would not like to see him get dropped out of that starting three. If we had a better option, me personally, than McKenna, I'd have somebody else in there as well. But just the way that everything's going at the moment, I'd have Tierney, McKenna and Gallagher.
Strong. I would have similar. I would have Tierney, Gallagher and Considine. That's how I would start. And purely, partly the reason if we win, then that song can hopefully get played through the stadium. I think that would be quite a good laugh. But no, I know he's older, right? And a lot of people will look at that. But see, when he has played for us in the last couple of games, he's not really put a foot wrong, to be honest with you. Like, he has done well. Not saying he's the best, I mean, we don't have sort of, he's not like Virgil van Dijk and anything like that. We don't really have much players like that in the team, or anyone really in the team. So it's quite hard. But yeah, the last two games, like, he has been good for us, and I can't really fault him. I would rather have him than McTominay, personally. So that's who I would kind of put in the back three.
Aye, my only worry with that would be the shape, and Constantine maybe played out on the right when he's a left-footed player and stuff. But he played well in the last game, so he might deserve his chance. Jack, you're the last one is up, right? But I will say it before you go. I hate Scott McTominay. I think he's shite. So what's your three? I'm genuinely interested.
I went with the same as Kirsten. I went with Tierney, Gallagher and Constantine. Constantine is probably one of the player I had the most maybe on. But
on the right though.
See, to be honest, this Scotland team is probably the hardest thing I've ever had to pick in my life, because I was like
harder than your maths exams.
Aye, because I'm sitting here. I've got it up now so I can see just a wee sum up of the players that are in this team, and I'm just like, this is disgusting, man. The fact that I need to pick between them, and I've Kieran Tierney gets in the team. As we go back to that point, our best two players are left backs. Gallagher gets in the team for me, and it was a toss up between McKenna and Constantine. And I just think, like Kirsten said, Constantine had a good few games for us. When I seen him in the team sheet the last couple of times, I was a bit worried about him, but he kind of really fault what he done. He was solid, and then it's one of the ones where it was I'm kind of just like picking the jockey's jersey in the paper.
Well, I'm glad that you never went McTominay, mate, so fair play. I had Constantine there, him every day of the week. Right, Kirsten, do you want to kick us off on your midfielders then? Because we do believe it will be a 3-5-2. That's what we're thinking. So we've went pretty much with a 5 at the back there. So going on that theory, you'd have 3 centre mids, wouldn't you? Maybe one further forward. So who would you go with? So
my further forward one, I'm going to put John McGinn, just because he's a powerhouse going forward. I think he'd be really, really good for us. He has been really, really good for us. So yeah, I would definitely have him in the team. My other two I'm going to put is McGregor and Ryan Jack, because they two would sit further back, and they both, see when they play for Scotland, they are both good, especially even in their own teams. Obviously for Rangers, Ryan Jack's really good for you. Cal McGregor's really good for us. And I feel like that just works better. I feel a lot of people might put Christie in instead of McGinn, but nah, that's my 3 in there. I think that's a solid 3 midfield to have, and that's probably the one that I would take for the strongest at the moment.
Jack, do you agree with that, mate?
I went for the exact same. McGinn sitting in front of McGregor and Jack, and then possibly throughout the game, maybe bring Armstrong on. He had a good game at the weekend. So I think that's one of the strongest. That's probably one of the strongest points is our midfield in the Scotland team, and I think it picks itself. I don't think you can fault John McGinn, man, but Callum McGregor's one of the best players in the Scottish League, and then Ryan Jack, who's been solid as well, and then Armstrong as well, who's playing good for Southampton.
Aye, I would echo that. Ryan Jack, one of the best players in Scotland, and Callum McGregor that's playing all right as well. John McGinn is a stick-on. That's my free. That's the midfield that I've wanted for ages for Scotland, because it's workmanlike, good on the ball, energy, the whole shebang. And I think that's a midfield that you need for Scotland. It just goes to show, listen, Armstrong has been top, see, for the last 18 months or so. He's been top notch. So he has. And Steve Clarke might think that he'll put him in just for a different kind of player. But for me, that's my starting three. And it just goes to show you how good they three are. I still think that some of them need to step up in a Scotland jersey. And I'd love to see us play through them more, play to their strengths more. I don't think we're going to do it. Like, I don't think that we're going to get like Callum McGregor on the ball and sees passing variety and all that, and get like Ryan Jack in the ball, let him control it. I think we're going to just play long ball. I think it's going to be kind of anti-football. Yeah. I'd love to see going forward is try and implement those players on the ball more, because they'll definitely got a lot of talent for sure. Now, the last two, for me, it would have been Lyndon Dykes and Ryan Fraser, because the two of them were unbelievable in the last round of fixtures. They were top notch. However, Fraser's out with a hammy, which is a kick in the Johnstones. I still think Lyndon Dykes starts, but the man that I'm going to put behind him is Ryan Christie. I'm going to put him in there over the other strikers that are in the team already, because I think he'll give you the most, and you can potentially get more of an impact for John McGinn, in my opinion, if you do that. Because I think Ryan Christie could drop in and they could rotate. John McGinn could run in behind, feed off second balls and all that sort of stuff. Whereas with certain other strikers, I think they're strikers, aren't they? So they'll stay up there, and it won't allow John McGinn to make that run. So I'm going to go Ryan Christie. Lots of rotation with the front two, and maybe John McGinn, almost like a front three.
Just shows you how much I know, because I had Lyndon Dykes and Fraser. I didn't know he was at the hammy. So
there you go, learn something new every day, mate. You could have swerved that. You could have absolutely swerved that. I put the alley-oop, I mean, you've hit the rim. I'm
honest. But looking at the strikers we have, as much as I like Colin McBurney for the fact he's a Rangers fan, he never ever performs when he's got a Scotland shirt on. So Lyndon Dykes is one of the more promising strikers, but I think you've hit the nail on the head there by putting a wee creative player sitting behind him like Christie. So that's a shout.
Finally, Kirsten.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I was going to go Ryan Fraser as well, and then I think it was yesterday. It was like, squad update out, Ryan Fraser. I'm like, great, smashing. Definitely, I would put Christie up there. He's not a striker, but he has played there a few times for Celtic this season, and it gives John McGinn that option to kind of rotate, and I think it will be good for them both, because they're both very creative players. They can both get a good goal or two when needed, so I think it will be good, and I think there should be a lot of goals, hopefully.
When Christie's played in that position for Celtic, he's not been good. He's not been good at all. But I think that it's going to be a different game, of course. Celtic playing against most teams are going to sit in. When we're playing Serbia, we're going to be the team that's sitting. So his energy could be very important. And as we said, he can drop in. John McGinn can run in behind. I think that would be a lovely starting 11. Can't wait to see if that is what they go for. And Moan to Scotland, let's keep everything that can be crossed, because we will need it. It'll be hard, but hopefully in the next podcast we are celebrating Scotland going to their first major competition since 1998, and that is the answer to the first question.
No. See that as a starting 11, but we deserve full credit, I think.
I mean, get us the coaching stuff.
Aye, definitely, 100%.
I'll carry the
We heard it here first.
Problem at all.
I'm busy building a flat pack coffee table, sorry.
Right, so question one, in what year did we last qualify for a major competition? It was 1998. Kirsten, you said 1997. Stab in the dark, really close though, so unlucky. That's a point for you, Jack.
I was just trying to do my maths. I mean, a bit of a fraud, me getting an A and then that.
I think it. Did you say that you were great at English as well?
No.
Alright, I think you've read it wrong. It was actually an A in foundation maths.
Probably.
Right. Question 2. Which current squad member has the most caps? Jack, you said... Who did you say?
This is Scott
You
Brown.
said McGinn. No,
McGinn.
did you not say McGinn?
You says McGinn, and you
McGinn.
said Callum McGregor. Both pathetic answers, to be quite honest with you. But this was a test on your knowledge, how much you've been paying attention. Obviously not a lot. There's been a high-profile re-addition to the squad. It's Craig Gordon.
Oh,
54 caps for the national team. Miles ahead of absolutely everybody else in there, guys. If you got that in the comments, then you're an absolute G. Question 3. Who scored the last goal in a major competition? Jack, you said Ali McCoist. Kirsten, you said Stephen Naismith Sr. Will be nice to you.
Oh, thank you.
It was actually Craig Burley Jr. versus Norway in 1998. The game before that, we get beat 2-1. The game before that, we got beat 2-1 off of Brazil. And that's... Aye,
That's
there
saying
you go.
something, man.
Aye, then we get pumped 3-0 in the last game. Embarrassing for us. So, Craig Burley Jr. Do you know who that is? Aye?
When I got that on for Sundays, man.
Well, I would never have got that.
Very, very famous. It was our last goal, man. Come on. Name 2 of the top 5 most capped Scotland players. The answers that you could have got, that you didn't, was Jim Leighton with 91, Alex McLeish with 77, and Paul McStay with 76. And I can reveal that Kirsten, your last answer with Darren Fletcher has got you a point. Splendid for you. 80 caps for Darren Fletcher, top 5. Jack, you smashed it, mate. Kenny Dalglish, 102, the most capped Scottish player of all times. And also, the highest goal scorer for Scotland.
It was no bad, wasn't it?
He was fucking brilliant. He was a Rangers fan and all, but he ended up at Celtic because we didn't sign him. Terrible for your scouts. And finally, this is going to decide it, I believe. Current manager, Steve Clarke, was a defender in his playing career. How many goals did he score? Jack, you said 17. Kirsten, you said 31, I believe, 32. It was 14 goals. So he was the original Quaverto. The original Quaverto was Steve Clarke.
Who'd have thought?
Doesn't surprise me.
Aye, and that's going to do us for this video. If you are new in here, please consider subscribing to the channel, hit the like button, follow us on No First Touch and Instagram. Check out the troops that are also on as well. Any finishing words, Jack?
Good to be back.
Thanks for that. Very intelligent response as
usual.
As usual. Kirsten?
Here's hoping Scotland win.
And hopefully Stephen Naismith gets a hat-trick. Right, troops, we'll see you later.